Yeah, that's right. I see the chat. I see y'all rocking. I see y'all coming. Hit that like button as you enter the building. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button. Show your love. Show your support. You know what I'm saying? This that dope soul. This that new thing. Nobody don't know about it.
Hello, Knicks family. Welcome to the Just Knickin' It weekly show. I'm your host, Stephanie, a.k.a. Queen, joined by Ajay, the villain, Hollywood, and Knick Nation. A lot to talk about today. We'll talk about game 2. Like, we still have to exercise some of our fan demons from game 2. Like, I know we should be over it by now. And in a way I am, but we'll talk a little bit about game 2. We'll definitely get into game 3 and what we would like to see. Listen, we've talked about this heading into the playoffs. Playoff series are usually won or lost in the margins. And when you look at game 2, the Knicks left a lot of meat on the bone. There were a lot of areas in which they didn't even have to shore up all of them. If they just shored up one or two, we escape that game. But yet we didn't, and we lost it by 1. Knick Nation, Ajay, how you feeling? And just talk to me about game 2 and if there was one thing that the Knicks could have done differently out of the 20,000 of them, out of the many that you think could have helped them win this game.
Good, Knick Nation.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you were here first, brother.
This is true. This is true. This is very much true. Very much true.
Showing up.
I'm very efficient. I'm extremely efficient. To me, the bottom line is they definitely have to, besides the real norm, is clean up the second unit for sure. Figure out what they need to do as far as cutting down on these turnovers. Because these are not like, well, I ain't gonna say all of them, but most of them were just bad, where it wasn't where the player literally just, diverted off his man and then jumped into the passing lane. The guy was already there a lot of times, and we were still throwing the pass. So those, just silly mistakes. And free throws, just to be honest, that's, to me, I think the game plan was solid in certain ways. It was the execution that was just horrible. When I watched the game again on the second time, it just was the execution. So it's not like they did many things to disrupt us, especially offensively. They didn't really do it. We beat ourselves. So to me, I'm cut it short and sweet. Don't beat yourself. The Knicks don't beat themselves. They win this game easily. You hit your free throws.
In the series.
Yeah, and the series. You hit your free throws. What did we miss? 10?
10.
10. That's 10. 10 points. We lost by 1. So these guys who got up there and some of them missed both free throws, and you know how I feel about that. I believe when you miss both free throws, to me, it's not clarified as a stat, but it is a stat. That to me is a turnover. You set up there and you missed both of them. You didn't get a point. You didn't whistle. That's a turnover. Everybody except for Mitch. I let Mitch go. But anybody else? No. Turnovers. So.
Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Greg and Kim Doc. We exercising our final demons and talking about game 2. And then we're gonna move on to game 3. Ajay, one thing I know there's like 7 that kind of sticks out to you where you feel like we can't do that. Like you can't have eyes on being a championship contender and allow blank to happen, whatever that is.
One thing, but it has like tentacles, right? It has part A, part B, part C, right? But if you want to put it all together, first of all, salute to the chat, And everybody, and of course, always a pleasure being with you guys. Shout out to Geoff, Jerrell, Delusional, who are usually here with us, but you know, we're our schedule is like a little funky because we have to kind of adjust to the game schedule. But I want to say, you know, stop with the low IQ basketball, okay? And under that low IQ umbrella, there's a bunch of stuff, right? One of them is the most obvious thing that everybody's been talking about. Oh, look who's here.
Oh, what? He took some time away from
Look at that.
Sorry.
Hey, new guy, how's it going? Hey, he's the new guy now.
Technical difficulties over here. That's all. That's all.
You
How's
see,
everybody
Jerrell,
doing?
you send the panel in the
pretty good.
chat into a frenzy.
I'm
I don't
sorry.
even know what I was talking about.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah. So, and one of them is what the most obvious thing that everybody's talking about is why is Karl Anthony Town not more involved? I mean, it's clearly the strategically, like the most obvious thing, glaring thing is the Atlanta Hawks have nobody to match Karl Anthony Towns. But for some reason, he's not featured for a lot of the games. Like a lot of the possessions, he's not featured. It's just dumb. It's just low IQ basketball. It's like you want to make it hard on yourself. You know, it just doesn't make sense. You know, I mean, there are other stuff that I'm sure we'll touch, you know, the next few minutes, but that one was the most glaring thing is why is, and I'm not saying whose fault it is. Notice that I didn't say whose fault it is. I say collectively, the team plays low IQ. I went back and watched the game again and again, and I realized that, all right, people are saying Brunson, you know, they freezing out Cat. I think Cat frees out himself sometimes. He takes himself out of the play. And look no further than the last play of the game. When go back, look, when Josh Hart got that rebound, just look at Cat, see what Cat does. And you're going to be like, oh, he ain't want nothing to do with that action. He had already checked out of the game at that point with 5 or 6 seconds left. So it's collectively, it's everybody effing up over there. It's not Brunson or Brown, it's all of them. Okay, so, and that's as one way I could put it.
But that's a concern.
Oh, it
right?
absolutely is.
When series are won and lost on the margins, and it's not just the player, but it's the coach. It's like, come on, like somebody has to be right. Somebody has to be sharp. Everybody can't be.
Queen, throw in the assistants in there too. How many calls they should have challenged? There's one guy in there. His job is, do we challenge or not? That guy didn't do his job. There's at least 2 calls that went wrong. We saw it on the replay, but he didn't see it.
Yeah. Jerrell, appreciate you joining us.
What?
I know this is the Giants time of the year.
Yeah, I know.
We definitely appreciate you.
Man, Queen, I'm about
Well, it's a big day. It's a big football day tomorrow and basketball day.
I'm about to remove Knick Nation from the panel with that boo.
Don't
Yeah,
do
you
me
can't be
like
booing the
that.
Giants.
Don't do me like that.
I'm about to accidentally drop him.
Oops.
So you just asking like just a quick recap of
Yeah. You know,
One
anything
thing.
about the game, particularly we're talking about losing on the margins.
Mhm.
You know, yeah. Whatever
Well,
you.
a great philosopher once told me one time that a coach should never, and I mean never, cost you a game.
Yes.
And Mike Brown put up a lineup in the fourth quarter that never played with each other in the first time all year. And he did that in game 2 of the playoffs. Not saying that was the reason that we lost. There was multiple reasons why we lost. Like we could have hit a couple shots. Like we'll have a completely different mindset if one of those shots from Bridges fall, or if one of those shots from Brunson fall, or if OG can make free throws or anything. Like it was like you said, it was the margins are the most important part of the game, and Mike Brown I don't know. He kind of I fell asleep. I don't know what that was in the beginning of the fourth quarter. Having a lineup that never played with each other for like 3 to 4 minutes in the fourth quarter of a playoff game is kind of weird. I don't know what happened. I don't even know if he know what happened, but it happened and we lost the game. So, it's not on him, it's on everybody. But at the end of the day, I'm not scared of Atlanta. I think we should win in 5 because I had picked us to sweep them. We should have swept them. Like, we should have won that game. And we should win a game every time we play them. I don't think they're good as us.
I agree with that. This is a question I have about the lineup that didn't play together in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
Can we really kill him for that? For making a rotation adjustment using a guy who is a point guard, who is situational, when at the time we needed maybe he felt like we needed a floor general out there. Remember, Deuce and Shamet did not play well, and that's a whole other issue for those who feel like, oh, we don't need a floor general.
True.
Mike Brown's system is gonna take care of that second unit. The way the system is run, you don't need a point guard. Okay, all right. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. But that was one of the main criticisms we had of Tom Thibodeau, was that he wasn't flexible. He wouldn't, bring in a guy that was out of the rotation if we needed him. And Mike Brown brought in an Alvarado.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, you can argue that as a coach, you should anticipate that you might have to bring in these situational players. And you should already have a list of the lineups that player plays well with, because Alvarado did play in the regular season. So, I mean, you can argue that, like, Alvarado has played with different lineups. Have a list when if you have to bring Alvarado in, already know the lineups that he plays well with. I mean, you can argue that, but I just see him being killed for bringing in somebody and playing him in a lineup that hasn't played before. But that was one of the main criticisms we had of Thibodeau.
Yeah, but
right?
maybe
wouldn't, Thibodeau is going down with the ship. Alvarado is not coming in that game if he was out of the rotation, unless Deuce or Shamet broke a leg.
But I guess maybe it'll feel a little better if at least one of your best players was on the floor when you did the experimentation. Like, if you're going to experiment in game 2 of the playoffs, cool. But at least have one of your all-stars on the floor when you do it. Like, you can't just go completely left with all bench players. Well, not all bench players, because OG was out there too. But yeah, I'm not killing Mike Brown. I'm not saying that he's the sole reason that we lost the game, but he was definitely a part of it. Let's just say that. Like, that wasn't the only, like, that lineup was the only misstep that he had. Like,
I got a list right here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, it's not just that for me. That's just what I picked out because it was the fourth quarter and we lost it. Like, we lost the lead in the fourth. But throughout the game, like, he made a few mistakes to me, and the players did too. So I'm not just killing him. I'm not even killing the team or the players, really, because we lost by 1 with doing all that. Like, everything went wrong for us in the fourth quarter. But I don't plan on that happening again. So maybe I'm not as mad as everybody else is. Not now. But
what do you know that we don't know? But what do you know that we don't know? Because those lineups, he's still going to put them 2 together, I believe. I hope he doesn't, but I believe he still will. That he will still have Deuce and Shamet, you know what I mean, coming in and playing the points of the guards and as far as controlling the game and the ball, which to me is a huge mistake in that sense, because either one of them, neither one of them are aggressive enough or have a good enough handle to get into the paint. You'll get Deuce that'll step his foot, maybe pass, you know what I mean, the baseline, you know what I mean? He might at the top of the key get in, he might get his foot in the paint, but he doesn't have the handle or the strength enough to really battle to keep going. And unfortunately, Shamet is the same way. So, that's one reason why I'm saying that is, to me, somebody else needs to be in there or take control of it. More than likely, to me, the obvious name would be somebody I'd have to try to ride Clarkson or something like that. I'd rather him controlling the ball, even though he can be a little wacky. His handle is better than both of theirs.
But
True.
if you have Brunson or Cat in, either one of them in at all times, one of them is on the floor.
Yep.
Even if you have Clarkson, handling the ball, if he's in there with Cat, you can run actions through Cat. You can use Cat, as a Cat as a hub. So I think that was the other thing. Now, Mike Brown has been doing this most of the season. Like, we've seen these lineups with Brunson and Cat off the floor. And I guess he's saying, well, this is not new. This is what we've been doing. It worked in the regular season as far as the lineup data is concerned. And so they've practiced together, these three guards with Mitch and OG. I'm using it in the playoffs, unless you're arguing that the playoffs ain't the regular season.
It ain't.
Though it may have worked in the regular season, in the playoffs, the margins are slim. You got to have one of your best players on the floor.
Right. You can't be the guy who comes in and he replaced Tom Thibodeau, and he's supposed to, have the guys fresher during this time of the season, right? How come he didn't use them? Like, that was the whole point of them.
To be fresh to get to this game. They don't need to be super fresh now.
Right. They like play the minutes. Like, if you're going to play both of them like low 30s when it comes to the minutes, and we lost by 1, then yeah, that's a coaching issue. But that's not the only reason we lost. Like I said, one of those shots from Deuce fall, we win the game. Like Shamet, one of those fall, we win the game. One of those threes from Bridges in the fourth quarter went in and out twice in a row. We win the game.
Right.
So I only can argue so much, when it comes to the mistakes, but mistakes were definitely made. That's all.
A lot of them, a lot of them was made. I want to stick with Mike Brown just for a little bit, because, listen, we got to talk about Brunson. We got to talk about missed free throws. We got to talk about OG missing free throws. Like, there's so much that did not go right for the team. But Mike Brown, in my opinion, is under a microscope. And I mean, because this is where you really get to judge him. Yes, we seen him in the regular season. Fine. We won 52, 53 games, whatever it was. That's fine. In the playoffs, though, is where we're looking to see where he can optimize the lineups, optimize the schemes. Not having a timeout at the end. Like, we can say, oh, he didn't have a timeout. But one of the other questions is, why didn't he have a timeout? And when you think about that timeout he called when Jalen Brunson was almost going in for a layup, and then in the press conference when they asked him, he, was fumbling over himself before, they had to remind him of the situation.
He didn't know what he was talking about.
He had to apologize. He couldn't help the reporter. I'm like, dude.
Right. And he said, oh, well, we didn't have a lot of good possessions prior to that, and so I wanted us to set up a good possession. And I get that. I've been on the sidelines when I've had that same thing. Let me call it timeout, because we are not get. But I see that a player is in the lane about to score a layup. We ain't gonna get a better possession than that. There's no sense of me calling a timeout at that point. Now, it's possible that it was a timing issue, that he called the timeout and then the official, maybe didn't hear him, and he kept saying, timeout. And by that time, like, there could have been a timing issue. But I'm like, if you there watching the game and you want to call timeout and you see Brunson is almost, there's no need to call the timeout at that point. Like, it's these little things, and it's not just Mike Brown, the entire team, but we're just focusing on Mike Brown right now. We'll get to Brunson. Things like that. The minutes, I think it was 12 minutes throughout the game where Jalen Brunson and Cat were off, neither one of them were in the game together. I believe it was 12 minutes. Like, that's an entire quarter. In the playoffs, that's you can argue that that can't happen. But this was the biggest one for me. This was the biggest one for me. You cannot leave Jalen Brunson on an island with CJ McCollum over and over and over and over again without making some type of adjustment. They were hunting him. They was getting a switch. When the reporter asked CJ McCollum, like, is that what he was wanting to do? And CJ McCollum looked him dead and he said, what do you think? Like, what do you think? Of course, that's what of course, that's what I'm trying to do. And we had nothing for it. And this is where Mike Brown is supposed to shine. Lineups and in-game adjustments. Now, is he going to have an adjustment from game 2 to game 3? Absolutely. But Thibodeau did that. That was one of the issues we had with Thibodeau. He was really good adjusting from game to game. But in the game, he going to stay with, whatever that game plan was. This was the expectation with Mike Brown. Are we going to blitz? What are we going to do to help Brunson out? Because listen, I don't want to hear anything, not one thing about Jalen Brunson's one-on-one defense against CJ McCollum. We already know what that is. We already know that's not who he is. And you got to help them. You need to come up with some sort of scheme so that they can't keep taking advantage of that. And Mike Brown just stood there, in my opinion, and just watched Jalen Brunson get taken to school over and over and over and over again with not an adjustment. Like, to me, that's the number one egregious thing out of all the things we talked about when it came to Mike Brown, and it cannot happen. It just can't. It just can't happen. Yeah. Anything? Anybody want to piggyback or add?
My only thing is it's the coaching still point of it too, and whoever the defensive, I can't remember his name, but the defensive coordinator. Because to be honest with you, if we just play our game and don't hand the game over to them, regardless of how Brunson played them or not, we still win. It was still a low point of a low scoring point of game. And that to me is one of the major factors, is that, you're getting it on one end, but you got to be able to still run and process and play the game. As far as, really the major mistake we know is Brunson, once he gets into that mano-a-mano kind of thing and trying to go back at people, when he gets into that mode, he's got to know better. Somebody's got to be there to tap him on the shoulders, pull him on the shoulders, and go, hey, I know you just scored 20 points here in the fourth quarter, but there's a team, there's 4 other guys here on the court. Somebody's got to have a band on his wrist, to snap a rubber band, something, and say, hey, Brunson, you got to still keep us functional. You got to still keep the offensive functional. And when he doesn't, he puts the target on his back and then feels that, okay, I'm going to carry and ride the team. You can't do that. It just can't happen on every game or consistent point of a basis, because what happens is that everybody else begins to sit back, and then they're not locked and dialed in. And when they're not dialed in, and as we was talking about as far as on the recap, we got to manage or figure out a way to keep Towns actively in the game. That has to be managed. We all know, because I'll preach it to death, is that he does not have that kind of motor. And if he doesn't have that kind of motor within this team here, with this team this year, that means that it has to be managed to where we mitigate that down to a point to where we can get him comfortable and moving. And I know he's a grown man. We all know that. But the other players, in order to accomplish our goal, have got to keep that in the back of their head that, hey, we got to get this guy the ball. Hey, we got to make it a point to push this guy the ball. Hey, you know what I mean? Even if somebody taps him on his butt, smacks him on the butt, listen, man, shoot, get the ball, call for it, put your guy in position. Because if he doesn't, we're going home. We're going home early.
But how often have we talked about this, Knick Nation? We've been talking
know.
about this all season.
I know.
The scheme has to feature him. Brunson has to look for him. Cat has to call for the ball. Like ad nauseum, we've talked about it, and nothing has really changed. It'll change for a little while, and then it'll change back. And to this day, it's hard to say what's the reason for that. Like, who is it? Is it on Mike Brown to say enough is enough? This is what with timeout. We've had 5 possessions where we haven't gone to Cat. Like enough already. Or call it action that features him. Or is it similar to at least what I thought with Tom Thibodeau? Nobody wants to say anything to Brunson. They just want him, just let him do what he does. Nobody wants to, you know, talk to him and say, listen, this is what we need to do. And I get where Mike Brown is talking about with Cat. He's a veteran. I shouldn't have to say that. Yeah, sometimes you do. With Brunson, well, he's the point guard, he's a star. I shouldn't have to put, yeah, well, sometimes you do. Sometimes you do. If you don't see it, sometimes you do have to remind them, listen, 2-3 times this happened, call it from the bench. If he gets offended, he gets, whatever you have to do to have that relationship with him, where that you can do that, then you need to do it. Because we can't just be, the margins are slim. I ain't gonna say nothing to Cat because he a veteran. I ain't gonna say nothing to Brunson because no. You gotta say something to him.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely with you, with you on that. I will piggyback off of Brunson, and I've been critical of his process on and off all season. But what I will say is, for me, it's not about looking at the box score and seeing how many field goal attempts he had, and like, oh, he took more field goals than everybody else, and he took more shots in the fourth quarter now, and he should. Like, to me, it's not. I'm not judging Brunson by looking at the box score and seeing how many field goal he attempted over the rest of the team. I'm not even looking at the box score and saying, oh, he only had 3 assists or 4 assists. I'm not judging Brunson by the box score. I'm watching the game. We're all watching the game. We're all watching every possession. It's not about how many field goals he took or how many assists he had or didn't have. It's about his decision making on every play. He may have an inefficient game in the box score, but if you watch the game, every shot he took was a good shot. He just was off that game. That doesn't mean it was a bad game. Or you can look at the box score. He was very efficient, but he was just on a heater, and he forced 8 of those shots, but he was on a heater, and that's still bad process. You understand? So process doesn't always follow results. And when I'm looking at Brunson and I'm judging him not on his field goal attempts or his assists, his process. There are times when you should look off a wide open play if they brick it and it's just not their night. No. Look, this is a critical part of the game. I'm not going to hope that right now you're going to hit a big one. I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna live with the results. There are times when he does have to go on a heater and we're not getting anything going. I got to take the next 3 shots and see if I can make something happen. You understand? So with Brunson, for me, it's not about the stat sheet and not about the grand narrative. Oh, he doesn't pass. No. It's watching the game, watching every possession, and being able to say, on that particular play, I think that was the right play, with the caveat that maybe he saw something and that we, that I didn't see. I always give the players and the coach a little bit of the benefit of the doubt because, they working with more information than I do. Any other anything on Brunson, Jerrell, Ajay, you want to piggyback on for game 2? We're going to talk about game 3 in a bit.
I thought you was gonna say something. My bad. No, like I agree with what you're saying. It's all about Brunson's floor game. Like he didn't have the best game, but he didn't have a bad game either. He was the only one who pretty much did show up in the fourth quarter, and he still made some mistakes in that quarter too. Yeah, Brunson's going to be Brunson. I don't think he will be the reason that we lose a series. So, like, I kind of, not like he can't be criticized because some of the stuff that he does, is kind of boneheaded, especially some of the turnovers that happen. But other than that, like, he's just going to be Brunson.
Yeah. Ajay, anything on Brunson?
Listen, you said he didn't have a bad game, but he didn't have a great game either. This is not one
I
of
didn't
his
say he
games.
didn't have. Oh, you talking about Jerrell? Okay.
He did not have a great game.
He didn't have a great game. He was not super efficient, and his decision making wasn't the best. And listen, you got to give some sort of credit to the Atlanta Hawks, and I think the fact that they going at him when he's on defense kind of take him out of his offensive game a little bit, because he was really out there trying to defend CJ McConnell, even though we all watching it, we know it was a lost cause, because we know he can't really check CJ. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just he just can't. He just doesn't have the.
Honestly, he can. Honestly, he can.
No, physically, he's just listen. CJ, he's a big guard, man. He's a big guard. He's very efficient, and he was on the heater. Like, there's not much Brunson could have done. What we could have done is double team him, clog his space, and try to play some team defense on him. But Brunson 1-on-1 cannot really check, even though he's old. But he's just a bigger guard than Brunson. He's very, very playoff experienced. There's not much Brunson could have done. I mean, and I think that's
the one point where I give pushback at, is because I'm going to say this again, and because I said this on the what's name on as far as the recap show. If you watch what Brunson does, and a lot of players, it surprises me in the NBA. It bothers me because it's a pet peeve of mine. If you are watching that ball, you can't guard a guy. But if you watch that guy's waistline, CJ McCollum is 35, 30 years old. I bet you, and I would put all my money in the bank on that I could still stay in front of him. Why? Because I know it's a habit. It's not to watch the ball. You have to watch the guy. If you try to keep up with a crossover, you get murdered out here on defense. And for him to be in the pros, because when I see it all of these years, it bothers me, because it's just, you can't keep up with that. You can't keep up with guys' handles. I know guys that can cross you so fast. There's no way you can stay with them. But the key point is to stay center line with the guy, period. It's a technique that I learned in football, but it's the same technique that is taught in basketball. You cannot keep up with this, the ball. You can keep up with a guy. And trust me, CJ McCollum is not that fast. It's just that his ball handling skills are that good. But if you keep and you lock in on that ball, you're going to get lost. It happens all the time. When a guy crosses, and that's not where he's supposed to be. You're supposed to play the guy, not the ball in that sense. You only pick up your head and then move to that ball once the guy picks the ball up. If he doesn't, then you don't. Those are the rules of defense. When you lose that and you break that rule, you're going to get lost every time. Mark my words. Watch the game again, and the next time you watch, say to yourself, look at him. Watch how he got crossing, watching the ball, because that's the only thing. And he stepped that way. You can't do that. You have to stay honed in. And when he doesn't, so when Brunson does sometimes decide to do that, because there's times he decides to do it, he's solid. But when he doesn't, he looks crazy as hell. Any of the players, they look crazy like that. You just can't do it. Great defenders, they know that. They'll keep their arm and center on that, because they know that that's what you have to move first. And when he doesn't, it looks bad. I'm sorry to push in that for it, because I don't mean anything by it. But that's what I mean by he can blame. He just doesn't do it. His technique is just poor technique. And that, to me, a lot of times is, the coaching. Because when you see it in practice or see it in game, I'm pulling you to the side and saying, what were you doing there? Why were you watching that? Why were you doing it that way? Because it's a no. You just can't. It just doesn't work, period.
I agree with you. But I agree with that. But I disagree with the premise that anybody can guard anybody if you just watch the waist. Like
no. It's not that. It's not that point, Steph. It's that this what he's doing. He's getting blow bys. So it's not the saying that you can just what's name. But as long as you stay centered with him and he shot over you, it is what it is. Because then that's a sound point of defense.
I totally understand. But even to stay center, you still have to move laterally. Even to stay center, you still have to move laterally. So the premise is, if you stay center and watch the waist, you should be able to stay in front of anybody. I just don't agree. I understand what you're saying in terms of what you should be watching, but I disagree with the premise that if you do that, you're going to stay in front of anybody all the time.
You may not stay dead in center front of everybody, but you not looking crazy where you just went over
you may
here.
not get cooked. I get you. You may not get cooked, but for somebody like McCollum, who is he's another one that understands how to play the angles as well, even at his age, because as you lose speed, now it's other things that have to come into play. Now remember, McCullough, he may have lost speed, but he still knows how to get off his shot. And some players don't even need a lot of space, right? Don't need a lot of space to get off of it. So yes, Brunson can look at his waist and maybe be a little more in position, but I still don't think that's going to be enough to stop McCollum. Like, I still think the Knicks have to change things schematically and maybe even the lineups that they have in the game with Brunson to deal with McCollum. But I agree. You shouldn't be ball watching. You should watch the way. I agree with all of that. The second thing I'll say is that's not Brunson's job. Like, that's not Brunson's job to possession after possession play great defense against the best player. He may not be the best player on the team per se, but he's the best player in the series up to this point. You can argue the entire series. I'll just argue for Atlanta. You can't expect Brunson to carry the load offensively, be efficient, and lock down on defense McCullough on multiple possessions, and not give him help. Not like, that's just a big ask, but you're right. He could do better in terms of his fundamentals. That, no doubt about it. I just don't think that would be enough for Brunson to have an impact on McCollum. But I mean, I get it. I get it.
I think we'd be forgetting who CJ McCollum is too. Brunson wasn't the only one getting cooked last night either. He put a jumper right in OG forehead on that baseline in the fourth quarter. So yes, when he get cooking, CJ McCollum, like, he's been here before. He's a veteran. Like, we got to respect him at least a little bit. Like, Brunson is not supposed to be able to check him all game.
No,
that's never going to happen. Just like vice versa, CJ couldn't check Brunson all game.
Exactly.
On the other side, we haven't switched and try to exploit his defense. Like, that's just how it is, man. Like, I don't know. If
CJ McCollum's real.
But
he was every bit as good as Dame to me. In them years, he was every bit as good as Dame.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. They were both a problem. They were both guys that could put 40 on you any night. But I thought maybe we should have brought Mitch in toward the end of the game to help mitigate some of that. Because when you give him the option of saying, here, I'm either going to perform a jump shot or take you inside, then that's very, for Brunson, that's a lot for him to deal with. If he knows that, okay, if the guy's coming down and I got help, once he gets inside, then I know to kind of just guard him up closely. And if he does get by me, I got somebody who's there who can hunt and, get a shot. But Mitch, unfortunately, was not in the game.
But this is what I'm talking about in terms of either you're going to schematically help Brunson or you're going to help him with lineups. You're just not going to leave him out there on the island. And I will say this to Sherman. I agree with you. Brunson was helping on. I don't think Brunson was helping on CJ, Bridges was guarding CJ, but was getting picked off on purpose. That's what hunting means, right? Whoever Brunson was guarding, they put him in action so CJ can get the mismatch on Brunson.
Yeah,
Like it was intentional. I
we've
hear
seen
you.
this before.
It's not like Mike Brown was like, oh, CJ is hot. Brunson, I need you to guard him. No, he had other players on McCollum, but they, the Knicks were switching. They got the matchup they wanted, and he did the damn thing.
This has happened in every playoff game we've played in the past few years. I don't know why anybody's surprised. Like, that's what they're supposed to do.
Right.
Oh yeah. Steph Curry went through the same thing. Remember, they would hunt him. Went through the same thing all the time.
Yeah. Shout out to Lee Escobedo, Nick of Time. Be sure to check my brother out, man. Be sure to check him out on Substack. And then also to follow him on X. He had an excellent article that I read today on the 5 things the Knicks need to do in Game 3. And what I like about Lee, first of all, he's very humble, too humble in my opinion. But if he talks about pre-switching, he'll briefly tell you in the article what that means. And for those of us who really want to get into schematics, I really appreciated that. And then he had a glossary at the end of the article. I'm like, okay, talk about the level up. So
he's very thorough.
Very, very thorough. I got to get with him this off season because I definitely want to level up in that regard. It just helps you watch the game differently and get more out of the game. So we definitely appreciate you. Parrish Duggar had, I think, 2 super chats. Let's get to the.
Yeah, he has another one up there.
Let's get them in order. Parrish Duggar, I appreciate you always supporting the channel. I have a problem that so much is on Brunson and Cat to win. I blame Deuce, Shamet, Bridges, and coaching for never helping these 2 stars in big games. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of blame, if you want to call it blame, or a lot of meat left on the bone all around. Deuce is not playing. I'm not just picking up. We're gonna go around the gamut, but Deuce is just not playing well right now. But at the same time, it's on the coaching staff to put your players in their best positions. And Deuce is not an initiator. He's just not. He's better off the ball. Put your players in that position. Maybe Clarkson is handling the ball so Deuce can play in his normal role off the ball. Maybe Shamet so he can be in his natural position off the ball. Mike Brown, his love affair with Shamet. Oh, Shamet played point guard. All right, he played point guard in middle school. Now, all of a sudden, he could be a point guard in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, relax. Like, I need Mike Brown. Bring it in, like dial it in. I'm being facetious. I mean, I think it might have been in college that he, but still, like
extended middle school.
I mean, I think, and I've had this conversation with Freezy. I've had this conversation with a few other people. I think it's really overblown, this idea that Mike's system is just gonna cover it up, and you don't really need a point guard out there. You don't need a floor general out there. And if you need a decision maker out there, you need somebody that can make good decisions, whether they're a point guard, an off guard, a point forward. You need somebody out there that can have the ball in his hands, whether it's a point guard or not, and make good decisions. And I don't think Deuce and Shamet are those guys. Put them in the best position to win, and then they can help, to Paris' point, Brunson and Cat, because they're playing off of those guys, right? Bridges, people are talking about Bridges' offense, but let's not forget the yeoman's job Bridges is doing on Alexander Walker, who is basically out of the series, basically shooting 0.6% or whatever he's shooting for the series. because of the job Mikal Bridges. So I don't want to gloss over that. And it takes a lot of energy to put out on the defensive end and then come on, still score 20 on I mean, would I have liked him to hit that last shot? Yes. Would I like him to be a bit more aggressive? Yes. But he's a utility player at this point. Like, that's his role. We may all want him to be something different, but this is his role. He's a utility player right now. And, this is what it is, Bruce White, I have a whole lot of faith in Kolick and Cat. Listen, we might see Kolick for a few minutes, in the playoffs. I mean, that's one thing about Mike Brown. He may go to a Kolick, he may go to a Diawara. We shall see. We shall see. And there was one more, Paris Duggar again. JB is upset. He's been inefficient going back at CJ. It takes a lot of energy. I don't think we should underestimate that. Okay, Sherwin said Shamet came to the NBA as a point guard. He can create for his teammates. Okay. I hear you. I don't have a lot of confidence. I don't have a lot of confidence in that.
He does not manipulate the defense at all.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't ever remember him being a point guard. I think he was always a two guard, but I have to be wrong. I had to look it up. Yeah, he was never an assist guy. At least I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I mean, that's the key. Manipulating the defense and getting guys good looks. Now, Jose Alvarado, I wish he shot better. Because as soon as he got in the game, he drove right, swung a pass to Josh Hart in the corner for a wide open shot that Josh Hart missed. But still, he created a good look. But he just doesn't shoot the ball well enough for to keep him out there for long, long periods of time. Do you think this series took a turn after game 2, or do you think the Knicks are still in the driver's seat?
No, I think we're still in the driver's seat. Like, we just lost the fourth quarter. Other than that, we was winning the whole game. So, if we don't break down like that, give it up to Atlanta though. They won the game. They took it from us, but we definitely gave it to them. Like, we was in the driver's seat the whole game, that game. And, here's what it is.
Anybody else think the Knicks still?
I'm sorry. What was the question again?
Do you think the series turned with the Hawks game 2 win, or do you think the Knicks are still firmly in the driver's seat?
I think they're still in the driver's seat. I think that whoever comes out on this third game here that's who's in the driver's seat to me. Whoever wins this third game here is in the driver's seat. If the Knicks name, then it's time to panic. We lose this name game, it's time to panic. Okay. I don't want to come back going 2-2. We should be, 3-1 coming back.
Is game 3 a must win, or do you think it's too early to talk about must wins?
It could be 2-2.
I won't say a must win, but it's one that, that definitely puts you in the driver's seat. You need to win. They need to win both them games in Atlanta. Really, because if you give them that, they beat you at home. So if you're going to keep flip-flopping back point, that means that, you're getting into a game 7, and nobody wants to get to a point of a game 7. So to me, in order to take full command of this now, they need to win both these games in Atlanta to beat them twice. Coming back, I think 2-2 still gives them the confidence that, hey, we beat you in the Garden before, we can do it again. I think if you break them down 2, by the time they come back to the Garden, and if it's 3-1, they'll pack their bags. They're off to Cancun. Not, they'll be trying to send us to Cancun.
Before I get to Ajay, Rafa says, nah, game 3 not a must. David G 2205. Game 3 is a must win. So we got some varying opinions there. Where are you at, Ajay? Game 3 a must win?
Not a must win, but it'd be nice if we went in. I think if we go back to I don't know, maybe the last show. I think we split the first 4 game and then we win 2 in a row to wrap it up. That's why I had the Knicks in 6. So when we come back here, it's going to be 2-2, and then we win here, we go back and win Atlanta again, and that's it. There's not going to be a game 7, and that's worst case scenario. But it may very well go the way Nick Nation's saying. We win both games in Atlanta, come here and wrap it up. But I really think they're going to split the next 2, but come back and win 2 in a row, the Knicks, and then call it a game.
Shout out to Jason. Appreciate you. It's not a must win,
Yeah,
but it will be full panic from fans if we lose. Listen, game 3 is not a must win. But I will tell you this. I will tell you this. If the Knicks lose game 3, I would be super disappointed. Yeah. Because to me, I feel like you're the better team. You lose game 2 the way you lost, leaving so much meat on the bone, just really opening the door for Atlanta to come in and snatch that game from you. You should be right now. Nobody shouldn't be sleeping. Can't wait to get to game 3 to get that game. And you go into game 3 and you lose it? Oh no. Like, to me, I would be super disappointed, feeling like
we've done it before.
The next night that you're not prepared. You're not mentally prepared. If you lose game 3 in Atlanta after what just happened. Like, you should be in get back mode.
We did that last season.
Super sharp. No, you did. We did. We did.
Against the Pacers, game 2, you thought we were gonna come out like gangbusters.
I sure did.
And we came in, we laid down and took it.
Yeah. One shot D. Game 3 is a must win if we're talking about being a championship contender.
Jeff is.
Jeff was here. Jeff can't come in.
I was about to ask.
Come on in, Jeff.
Jeff.
I put the administrating thing back. So,
yeah, I'm on my new phone. Actually, I couldn't even find it on my StreamYard on my computer. So, like, I have
over 50 get a new phone. Everything falls apart.
I know.
We already talked.
New phone, and so
once you get rid of that flip phone, and then you move up to the smart, like it's very hard.
All right, I'm done.
So I don't even know if I sound good or anything.
You're good. You're good.
Fine.
You're good. You're fine.
I hadn't been on a phone for this in a long time, but that's, I guess, back to my roots.
Yeah, you had definitely leveled up. Let me see if I gotta
figure out when we get off how to get that in my reads. I had the game recaps and the screen records and the court conversations, but I don't have the weekly show on my.
You know what? There's a downward arrow, and then you just scroll down, and the weekly show should be there because it
just says demo afterwards. Is that?
Oh no, that's not it.
You mean
it doesn't have the weekly show on mine? I don't know what the deal is.
Jeff,
we can talk about. We'll figure that out later. I didn't mean to interrupt. What?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
Jamrock always. Any similarity between Atlanta loss in game 1 versus the Pacers? I think the game 1 versus Pacers was like a 0.2% chance of happening, right?
Yeah.
That was historical. That was a historical.
That was historical.
Yeah.
It was one for the books.
That one for the Pacers hurt a lot more than the last game did.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Yeah. A blowout win in game 3 is what it takes to knock the bad taste of game 2 out of our mouth. Curtis D. Young, 3350. Yeah. No doubt about it. Malunk, 1976. If this goes to 7 games, we are in a bunch of trouble. Fire Brown to bring in Steve Kerr if it goes 7. Even if we win it, if it goes 7, even if we win it. Shout out to you. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome.
Steph,
Welcome.
you see Lee's question? He had a question for the panel.
Yeah,
I didn't see.
I'm gonna try to bring it up.
Somebody can bring it up.
About Mike Brown. If we lose the first series, would you fire Mike Brown?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it because he said he'll fire Leon Rose too.
Yeah, it was something
If
like
that
that. He did
happens.
say it.
Shit.
Oh,
If we lose the next 2 games, I'm firing Mike Brown mid-series. In the middle of the series, I'm telling
in the middle of the series.
I would leave him in Atlanta.
Here it is. Here it is right here. Panel, do you fire Mike Brown if we get beat the first round? I would fire him
There you go.
and Leon
Absolutely.
if it happened. Yeah.
Absolutely. We ain't got no business losing, going home after this year.
You firing Leon too?
Yeah, out.
I don't know. Well, what's
This is what
name?
I'm
They
saying
just let
about
him
Leon.
go.
This is what I'll say
Billy
about Leon.
Donovan.
I wonder if this was Leon's pick, and I wonder if Leon even wanted to get rid of Thibodeau. I wonder if this was the owner's choice to fire Tibbs and hire a new coach. And listen, we can argue, and I agree. To me, and I've said this in the season, I don't think Thibodeau or Mike Brown is the guy. In hindsight, obviously, when Tibbs was here, I wanted to give him every opportunity. But in hindsight, I don't think either one of them is the guy.
I don't think Mike Brown was Leon's guy. I don't think that was Leon's guy at all. I don't think he wanted to get rid of Tibbs. I think the players wanted to get rid of Tibbs. And I think the owner did whatever the players wanted.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah. And I would
think Tibbs
Mike
put
Brown
himself in the room. I think Tibbs took too much of the understanding, hierarchies and, the relationship that he had with him. And I think he took that for granted. And I think that the owner stepped in and said, well, no, because every report kept saying that he wouldn't talk to him. And if you're not going to talk to your boss, you know how that eventually works, it's run downhill. So you're going to catch it. And I think he caught it because I think he honestly probably said to him, hey, can we put this to rest and da-da-da and whatever else? And Tibbs, probably being stubborn who Tibbs is, came up with a Tibbs answer. And he said, I can't have that. And he let him go.
Oh, well, if you're not going to talk to your boss, you should be fired.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I think Tibbs is probably running into Tibbs probably. I'm not saying he's right. He's not right.
Mm-hmm.
He's not right. But I think Tibbs is like, I'm not listening to y'all dummies. Like, y'all not gonna sit here and tell me how I'm supposed to run this team. Do y'all have a 6-pack and 15 pizzas piled up watching all of this tape after every game? No, you don't. So you're not going to sit here and talk to me about how I need to play more to bench. Tim's sitting there right now. How did that bench work out for you in game 2? There's a reason why I limit those minutes, you know? But again, I'm not, this is not about Thibodeau. This is about Mike Brown right now. And it's not looking good. And if we lose in the first round, I would fire Mike Brown.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they would because what's his name? They just fired what was it? And we wanted him, Billy Donovan. So I'm sure they would.
Nope. It would have Billy Donovan. Do not fire Mike Brown just to bring Billy Donovan.
I'm just saying.
And you don't even know if you want to be. You don't even know if you want this job. You'd be in the same predicament we was in when we fired Tibbs in the first place. Trying to get.
But they did. But I just remember them actively going at him to try to get an interview with him. Remember, and he was one of the high candidates that they were looking to bring in. And Chicago said no and turned around and paid Billy Donovan an additional contract, upped his contract, and then now turned around and fired him. They did that to make sure that we stayed away from him.
Yeah.
So should we send them a thank you card?
I'll give you the address.
Probably so, Jeff. Probably so.
Two more questions before we move on to game 3. Who has the most pressure right now for game 3? The Knicks or Atlanta?
The Knicks. Atlanta doesn't have any pressure. They're playing with house money. What pressure do the Hawks have?
Yeah, there's no pressure at all with the Hawks.
I don't think the Knicks. I don't think there's no pressure with the Knicks.
To go down 1-2. You don't think
What's
so?
going on with that?
Because we can win in Atlanta. We've done it like through over the years. This is not a problem. The Knicks are a better team than the Hawks. Like if you look, there's no pressure. I don't think there's any pressure on those guys at all.
What if we lost game 3?
Well, that's
okay.
That's a different story.
I gotta test you out sometimes.
No. That's where the pressure is, to make sure you don't go down game 3. I think that's where the pressure is.
I don't think they losing sleep over that right now.
Well, obviously they're not losing sleep. You can't be a professional and be confident and lose sleep. Like I don't think they're losing sleep. But I do think there's pressure on the Knicks. You give up a game, you give up game 2, there is pressure that you get back game 3. I do think there's a little pressure on the Knicks. You go down 1-2, bedlam. Now you dealing with a whole host of questions that you really don't want to be dealing with heading into game 4.
You know how you measure that stuff? You know how you measure it? You'll see, because if you see Brunson playing 40 minutes, Cat playing 40 minutes, they playing 42 minutes,
6.5 players.
You'll know. You'll know.
And remember when we were 2-9 or whatever it was? That rotation was mad tight. I think we played like 7 players during that time.
Yep.
Yeah. No doubt. And then the last question I have is, how do the Knicks slow down McCollum? I mean, I guess that's pretty much moving into well, let me ask before that. Well, I guess that's no. Go ahead. How did the Knicks? Let's move on to game 3, and let's just start with how do the Knicks slow down McCollum?
Jeff, you want to go? You haven't, you just got.
It's up to, she didn't say who was going first. I don't
go ahead, Jeff. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't know that the game plan is necessarily to slow down McCullough. I think if McCullough does what he does, then I don't think that I think that the game plan has been to slow down Jalen Johnson, and I think that's probably a good game plan. But if that's your aim is to slow down McCollum, then you double off of Dyson Daniels and you dare him to beat you from the outside, right? That's what the Knicks do. That's what teams do to the Knicks. Make Dyson Daniels into a perimeter shooter and scorer, and sag off of him and dare him to shoot. He shot like 18% from 3. If he beats you, he beats you. I think if that's your goal, but I don't think the Knicks defense was the reason that they lost. So I'm not necessarily worried about stopping McCollum. I'm worried about playing stupid lineups that have both of our best players sitting on the bench. I'm worried about, offense where we don't get the ball to Karl Anthony Towns in the fourth quarter after he scored 14 points and built a 12-point lead in the third quarter. To me, the Knicks beat themselves in game 2. And so, I'm not really overly worried about every aspect of what Atlanta is doing. Did McCollum have a big game? Sure. Is he a good player? Absolutely. Has he had a bigger impact than I expected? For sure. Another way to get at McCollum is make him play defense. Attack him. He's not a superior defender. Let's make him work on the other end of the floor. Let's get him into actions instead of getting Dyson Daniels into actions. Let's attack mismatches on our end. I know the Knicks don't do that because, why play the easy way when you could play the hard way? But it's so frustrating. We're beating ourselves. The reason the Knicks aren't up 2-0 is because of the Knicks. It's not. CJ had a good game. I grant him that. CJ's a terrific player. So is Jalen Johnson. The Knicks beat themselves, in my opinion. And credit to the Hawks. We gave them the opportunity and they took it. Absolutely. But it really reminds me of the Pacers series last year. We can't have a repeat of game 2 last year. We've got to come out focused, and Jalen's got to have better process. We can't have a fourth quarter where it's he and Josh Hart pick and roll at the top, not getting anything out of it in the action. Everybody's standing around watching. Nobody's moving. Ball's not moving. Players aren't moving. That's what's killer. And guess what? When you do that, CJ McCollum gets to rest.
Mm-hmm.
He gets to rest. Make him work. Move the ball and move your bodies, right? That's when this team is at its best. So do what we do best. It's like we set the Madden to super hard mode when, just win the championship at easy. You don't have to prove that you can win in the hardest manner possible. And it just feels like, and that's why Mike Brown is on the hot seat, in my opinion, because he's actively working against his strategy is actively working against what the Knicks do best. And that's why I'm upset with Mike Brown, and he's ignoring the data. Like, the lineups without Towns and Brunson in them are a disaster. And he played it for 12 minutes in a game we lost by a single point. Why? You've got players like Deuce McBride and Landry Shamet who are catch and shoot players. If you don't have anybody who can break down the defense, you're eliminating their offense. They're not initiators. What you have to do is have them play with Towns or Brunson, and then have them get two to the ball or make the defense move, and then you kick it out and just let them shoot. And that's their expertise. When you try and make them score and initiate offense on their own, you get exactly what we got. 0 points from either one of them. Oh, and Jose Alvarado ate a donut too, by the way, although he played better than the other two. And I'm sorry, I know I'm going back to...
That's fine, but you're not expecting Alvarado to score anyway. That's just not...
No, I don't have a problem with the way Alvarado played. He had 3 assists and a turnover, so he wasn't nearly as bad as... But my point is that when you have those 3 on the floor together at the same time, and you don't get a single point from any of them, and then you've got Mitchell Robinson in the game with them, for example, or Jordan Clarkson, what are we doing? Like, are you trying to lose? That's what it seems like to me. Like, play, and the most frustrating part is he didn't play those lineups all season long. What did we see all season long? We saw Cat come in in the start of the second quarter and go off. The net rating for that was like plus 11 in those minutes when he was the focal point of the offense with the bench unit, and they staggered him, staggered their 2 best players because they weren't really doing a great job with each other anyway. But even the stuff that was working at the end of the season when they were running the pick and roll together, that went out the window too. Why? Get back to what works and get your head out of your rear end.
See, Steph, I know I wasn't the only one mad at Mike Brown like that. Like, I tried to be cool up here, but yeah, he pissed me off last night. I'm not gonna lie.
But I will say though, Geoff, there were times in the season when Cat, you're right, was with the second unit. But down the stretch, when he locked into that 9-man rotation, we saw a lot of the 3 guards with OG and Mitch. And you was questioning even then why. So I'm saying it's not brand new. Like, toward the end of the season, he was using those lineups. But to be fair, you were questioning it even then before we got into the playoffs.
The coach's job is to maximize his players, and he's minimizing his players right now, not just Towns and Brunson. And Brunson is the part at fault, and Towns is part at fault too. Brunson, most of all, because he has the ball in his hands and he's not giving it up. But Cat can't post up Jonathan Kuminga. What's that all about? Like, that shouldn't happen either. So there's plenty of blame to go around. I'm not saying it's all Mike Brown's fault, but if you want to get more out of Deuce McBride and Landry Shamet, get them in a lineup that includes either Jalen Brunson or Karl Anthony Towns, and preferably Towns, because the Hawks have nobody who can stop him. Nobody who can stop him.
Yeah. I don't think it's breaking news, but to me, I just feel Mike Brown, he doesn't know how to coach centers. I just feel that he doesn't, like, his scheme, his systems. I don't think that he puts any emphasis or includes the point of the centers. I don't think I'm saying anything that's breaking news because, I think we can see it. But when I look back to the history of him, I don't really remember him on any teams having any real dominant center. And even when he was in Sacramento, I don't count what's name as a center like that. I kind of count him more as a power forward. Yeah, to me, he's a power forward, even though he may line up at that point of that position. So I don't think he's really had skill level guys like that. And I don't think that he, I don't think he puts enough emphasis on his offense as far as, giving any point of creation for them at all. I just think he doesn't value it the same.
And that's and we've noticed that from the beginning. We noticed that from the beginning. And I hope it's to your point that it's just that he's not used to that. And I hope it's not that it became personal early. He decided that, I hope that's not the case. And I don't think that it is. Does Karl-Anthony Towns need to be the best player on the floor for the Knicks to win Game 3? At least the best player for the Knicks.
Steph, let me go first, please, because I'm about to head out.
Okay.
I got football stuff.
I ran Jerrell off. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, we both.
I was yelling
I
at my
said
son,
it too.
like, I'm out of here. I won't listen to this.
Yeah, no, I gotta do the same as him.
All the stuff
I
that
said
Jeff
it.
said is the stuff that I wanted to say about Mike Brown anyway. So thank you anyway, Jeff. It's cool for me to get off. But no, I don't think Cat has to be the best player on the floor. I think we have, we're a very talented team. So if any of our guys are the best player on the floor, I think we can beat Atlanta. Like if OG is the best player on the floor, I think we can win a game. If Bridges, so on and so on with those four. No, I don't think he has to be the best player, but we can at least act like he's alive and is out there.
Right.
That's all. Yeah, I don't think Cat has to be the best player, but he still has to act. We have to act like he's alive and act like he's Karl-Anthony Towns and not some middle of the road player like he's an all-star. Like we should be able to use him to his full extent, and we don't.
Well, Jerrell, if we use him, he'll be the best player.
That is true too, because they don't have anybody that can guard.
They have no one who can stop him.
I don't understand how Mike Brown and his staff can't see what we're saying right now. Like he doesn't even have to try to be the best player. Just run it through him. Just go to him, and he'll automatically be the best player. Because there's nobody can stop him.
Right. Brunson is a part of that equation as well, as some of the astutely the chat is pointing out. But Cat is part of it too, though. I wonder, some of the actions that they run, I wonder, is that Brunson calling that with him and Hart and Cat in the corner, or is that the coach calling that? I just don't get it. And the other thing is, yeah, sure, sometimes Cat does have issues with smaller players like Kuminga, right? Sometimes he does. Give it a chance and see. Go to it once or twice, be like, okay.
Steph, I think
having a hard time.
It seems like we've been saying the same thing all season long.
I think he wants to use Cat differently. He doesn't want to feature him. He wants him to rebound, play good defense, and
we don't pay him to use him differently, though.
That's
the thing. That's the thing. We don't pay him to use him differently.
And I think when he's not part of the offense like that, I think he just mentally checks out. Like that extra effort is not there. Guy, I'm not asking. Go back and watch the last 6 seconds of the game. You look at what Cat did. Like he ran away from the play because I think mentally he just wasn't there anymore. He's like, they're probably not going to give me the ball anyway. Just let them do what they're doing.
Yeah. Whatever that last 6 seconds, though, I looked at it and I looked at that over because somebody was running the clip over and over again. And I looked at it. To me, it still seemed like everybody wasn't on the same page.
They weren't.
I know they didn't have the timeout, but it looked like the team, nobody went around, discussed anything, because it's usually, you call your point guard over, you say X, Y, and Z to him, this, that, and this. He goes around, makes a signal and tells people, what's going on and what we're going to do. And to me, I didn't see that. I just didn't see
we got a good look. I had no problems with the last play. I mean, that's a shot that Bridges makes more often than not. Yeah, he happened to miss it that time. There was a good look at the rim. And I don't think he could have gotten all the way to the rim before the clock ran out. There were 3 or 4 Hawks defenders in front of him. So he pulled up and he shot a good shot. It's a mid-range jumper, yes, but we didn't need a 3. So I don't have any
Jeff, you got 6 seconds left. You got 6 seconds left. Are you putting the ball in his hands to score? Is that
if he's open, you pass him the ball?
Hold on, Nick Nation.
Nick Nation. Brunson was covered. They couldn't get him the ball.
And we have to remember it was a missed free throw. It wasn't like a call play.
Regardless. I'm not putting the ball in Mikhail's
But it's
hand.
not even
That
about
team,
Go ahead.
that team, mark words, right? That team is already in foul trouble. They already had 5 team fouls. I'm not putting the ball in a guy's hand who does not even try to manipulate or get into the point of collecting a point of a foul. I'm putting in the ball in anybody else's the other forehand that they
But
will
who
at
was
least
up
make
there
that
to get
contact
the
and
ball,
goes that
though?
ball. But
Who
that's the
was
point
it?
of it. But that's the point of it. So the coach is to say, hey, 6 seconds. This is what I need you guys to do. 6 seconds. Get that ball past 3 seconds. Boom,
But
make
it was
this move,
off
this
of,
and whatever, and done.
it was off a
I
missed shot,
get it.
though.
It is a miss shot. But if you know that you don't got the timeout, 1. 2 is that you then go over and you make a play and they call or something, or you have some discussion on how you want that to go. This is the last point in the shot in the game. You don't just say here, all right, whoever's open and here, who's doing that? I could do that from right here. To say, take the ball. Here. If you're a coach and you're there on that scene, Mike Brown's got to be better than that. That is horrible. You have to have some kind of, there's scenarios. We practice these points of scenarios. People do that all the time. We've been doing that as kids all the time. 5 seconds left. This is what I got, to do. You're telling me that as a team and as a coach, I'm paying you $10 million and you don't have some kind of plan to say, here, come down here and do X, Y, and Z. That's no good.
I guess when it comes to this shot, right? Who else? I don't know who else I would wanted to take it besides Brunson in that situation. Who would you have wanted to take that shot other than
anybody besides Mikhail? I'll tell you that.
Anybody besides no.
You would want Hart to take that shot?
OG,
yes.
OG, he couldn't hit the side of a barn last night.
You want Hart to drive,
but you really don't like Bridges, Knicks Nation.
No, it's not that. But I'll say it like this to you. Would you expect Bridges to even? I don't give it. It was 20 seconds left, 30 seconds left. Are you looking at Mikal Bridges going forward and saying, yeah, I got confidence that, you know what, even if he doesn't get the point of maybe his shot that he wants, he's going to get some point of a contact and then say, here, put the shot up and put some onus on the officials to say, here, put him to the line. He's the last guy. He's the last guy.
So you're not mad about the shot. You're just mad that he didn't go to the hole and be physical to put it in the ref's hands. That's what you're saying?
I'm saying that he's not the guy, period, that I put that name here with the last I'll say it like this, out of the other four. I'm giving the ball to the other 4.
Like they called the play for Bridges.
Miss free throw.
You gotta look at
I know, Steph, but that's the problem. That is the problem. Mike Brown should have had something drawn up to do.
I think he did. I think the Josh Hart get the rebound, kick it ahead to a wide open Bridges and walk out of here with a win.
Yeah,
that was the play. That's a terrific play. He got a wide open look at the basket and a shot that's in his wheelhouse. Why would you not want him to take that?
Yeah.
Jeff,
and you guys like Mike. Okay, no problem, because you guys like Mike Brown. All right, that's my problem.
One thing doesn't have anything to do with the other.
Guys, let's not exaggerate, Jeff. That was not a wide open shot. It was a shot. It was makeable, but it wasn't wide open.
It was open enough.
He had 2 guys.
It was open,
and it was in his wheelhouse.
It was, yes, because he's a good mid range. But yeah, it's very makeable. But he had 2.
How many points did he score in the second half?
Who? Bridges?
Mikal Bridges.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, he scored 10 points for the game. So
he was over 3 in the fourth.
If I remember right, Queen, we went through this, right? He was 0 for 4.
Mm-hmm.
That's the guy you giving the ball?
Yes. If he's open and he's ahead, yes, I am.
If he's ahead under the basket.
No, if he's ahead, period. I'm not going to wait for Cat, who seemed like he didn't want the ball. Brunson was covered. Josh Hart was taking the ball.
He had the ball.
Out.
He had the ball.
So it's like, so what am I going to do with 6 seconds left? Wait for somebody. Oh, Mikal is open up here. No. He was 0 for 3. I'm not passing him the ball. I'm going to wait and see if Brunson gets open. I'm going to wait and see if Cat decides he wants the ball. I'm going to wait and see if OG gets into position.
No.
It's 6 seconds. You take the ball. If somebody is open, you hit. First of all, the Knicks should never have been in that position. The fact that the Knicks even had an opportunity to win the game at the buzzer is amazing, given 10 missed free throws.
Please.
Mike Brown's lineup, the fact that they were, I don't know. I didn't have a problem.
sorry. Do
And
me a
the
favor,
tech
guys.
on Mitchell Robinson. Don't
Please.
forget, he walked over Dyson and got a technical foul. They made the free throw. That's the point differential in the game, by the way.
Please do me a favor. After the show, go watch the game. There literally were two options on that last play. Either Josh Hart drives to the basket, or what he did is throw it to Mikal Bridges. Cat took himself out the play.
I prefer Hart driving to the basket, which he is great
but
at.
there's two options. Brunson was covered. OG was confused in the backcourt. OG never made it.
Mhm.
He never made it to the picture frame.
Exactly. Him and Cat never made it to the picture frame.
Yeah, because Cat literally went the other way. It's like he didn't know. Like, really, look at it. You guys gonna laugh.
I know. I saw it.
To be honest, when I saw the play, I was pissed at Cat. I'm like, yo, where's Cat at? Because I thought Bridges was going to look for him trailing, to be honest.
Nah, he was in the locker room already.
He was trailing.
That's shot, you know what I'm saying?
He was under
in
the
the
other
locker room.
basket. That's how far back he's trailing.
I'm glad we got a little argument before I left. Now I got to watch some football. You know what I'm saying? I like that.
Yeah, I got to run too.
I'll see y'all next week.
Same
I'll
here.
see y'all next week, man. Giants got 2 picks tomorrow. Jets got 2.
I know, and I'm upset about that. 5 and 10.
Listen, we need it. We need it. And Jerrell, I'm okay with the running back.
You okay with the running back?
I'm okay
You
with
saw
that.
Love,
Last
right?
night
You got to see Love? I told you he's good.
I'm okay
He's
with the
real
running
deal.
back.
Yeah,
He might be in
way
Tennessee. You
this
may have
team
to
is
go
set
somewhere else.
Right now, the way this team is set up right now, I'm okay with the running back.
I actually don't think we're going to get him. I think he's going to be picked before, but if we do, I'm not upset. Let's just say that.
I think you can take him and the receiver. I forgot the guy's name, but the receiver I'm thinking about. But he's pretty good though. So I think if you take
Tyson's pretty good. He
helps
should be available at 10.
Injury history. Like we went through all this yesterday on the show. Like his injury
My bad.
history scares the hell out of me.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
You know better
why
than
I can't
me.
get that link?
I
You
just-
can't let me. Why I can't get that link? I just want to go in the chat. I just want to talk.
Giant
Nah.
fans only. Giant fans. We let Jeff.
That's not right.
Jeff is
Jeff's
respectful.
the only cool one. Jeff's the only cool one. We tried that with Stafford and he cursed me out pretty much the whole show. I remember that. Salute to
Rest in
Stafford.
peace to Stafford.
Rest in
I
peace.
just
Stafford.
All
want to
right,
go in the
Pete
chat.
Stafford.
I don't give a shit. I
That
just want
was
to be in the chat.
cursing you out from
I can't
heaven.
even be in the chat. I can't be in the chat.
All right, y'all. Love y'all, man. Peace.
All right, love y'all too. Yeah, take care, y'all.
All right.
Everybody listening here.
All right. Just a few more questions and we'll get out of here. What's the
I
biggest
run everybody off, Queen.
Listen, hold on. Let me
You muted.
did I mute myself?
No, I can hear you.
Can you hear me, Jeff?
I can't hear you.
I can hear you. I can hear you, Queen. And I can hear Jeff. Jeff, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh,
But why you can't hear
I
me?
can't hear
then?
Queen.
Huh.
I can hear
What
you.
the chat, can you guys hear us? Can you hear all of us? That is so strange. They said I can hear everybody. Let me see. Did I mute you by
I can
mistake?
hear everybody.
I hear you. Can you hear me, Ajay?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
hear you.
Okay. I can't hear Queen at all.
All right. Can you go out and come back in? Can you ask him if he can come out and go back in?
Jeff,
Gotcha.
Queen said try to go out and come back in.
Okay.
Greg, appreciate you. 83 in the chat and only 29 likes.
That is crazy.
I thought we were all part of the New York Knicks community, and you see why we haven't won since the 70s. You got to support people. Support. Yeah, I appreciate you, Greg. And listen, shout out to Greg, man. We disagree, and this is the community we building, right? It's not even about whether we agree with each other or disagree. It's just about being respectful in your take. So, Greg, he be on me. He be on me about my Brunson takes, because Brunson is a ball hog in his opinion. But you know, you definitely dissenting opinions are welcome here. You know, I appreciate it. David said he can hear all of us. JJ also. Curtis D. Young,
I mean,
Randu,
what, Queen?
Jerrell said everything is good.
I should have prepared that little video, that last 6 seconds, so you guys could. Queen, you
Yeah,
go watch this. You're
I
gonna be
will.
live. You're gonna be on the floor. Watch Cat. Watch OG. Be like, what were they doing?
Yeah.
They never made it to the other end of the game was over by the time they got to the other half of the court.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk. I'm trying to wait for Geoff because I want to talk about the biggest adjustment Mike Brown needs to make in Game 3, and I also want to talk about what version of Jalen Brunson and Cat do we need in game Game 3, and whether or not there's a matchup the Knicks should exploit more in.
While we waiting for Geoff, let me tell you why we might be in trouble in Game 3.
Okay, talk to me.
So far, we've been able to contain Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I don't know if we could do that for an entire series. Okay.
Particularly, he's going home
He's going home. He's too good. Okay. So if we if we lose Game 3, look no further than Nickeil Alexander-Walker having like a 30-point game or something. Because he is due for a monster game. He's really good. He's been really good this season.
He has.
And you have guys on that Hawks bench, Kispert, that guys that typically beat us, give us problem. Buddy Hield, guys we can't contain because when they get on the heater, and those guys haven't played. This is why losing that game is kind of annoying because we have to deal with those guys at some point. So far, we've been doing a good job with them. And, the unexpected, not that, we know CJ McCollum, he's able, like he's a very good NBA player. You know what he's capable of. But you have other even Jalen Johnson, Queen, he hasn't had a typical Jalen Johnson game yet.
Yeah. Well, because listen, I know we down on the Knicks after Game 2, but Josh Hart's defense on Jalen Johnson has been amazing.
Right.
Amazing. Now, you're not going to shut him down. The only thing you want to do is make him, make him be inefficient, make him take more shots to get his points. Josh Hart, when he's playing off the ball, team defense, that's not his bread and butter, right? He over rotates. He allows guys to, cut back door. He ball watches. He's just not great in team defense because he's just not disciplined enough. But when you put him on the ball, this is your guy right here. Here, you don't have to have everything in play right here. He does a much better job, right? Yeah. So I think he's done an amazing job with Jalen Johnson, not shutting him down totally, but making it difficult. And Mikal Bridges is doing a really, really good job on Nickeil Alexander.
If you keep them under their below average, then you're doing a good job,
right?
Facts.
So the Knicks defense has been, other than McCullough, I think the Knicks defense has been, fine. The Knicks need to shoot better from three. I don't expect them to shoot 48% like they did in Game 1, but shoot better from three. Hit your free throws. Like Geoff said, this is more about what the Knicks need to do more so than stopping Atlanta. What adjustments do you want to see from Mike Brown in Game 3? Ajay, then Geoff?
So, the obvious, Karl Anthony Towns has to be featured on offense. Again, this is the whole world can see this. Okay. I don't mind Jalen Brunson playing his typical shout out to A-Train, man. I don't mind Brunson having his typical Brunson game. Like in Game 1, people are complaining now, but nobody had a problem in Game 1 when he came out the gate with 17 points in the first quarter and be aggressive. So listen, just do what you do. But the rest of it, Karl Anthony Towns, he's got to he's got to be part of the action. Because for this series, he's going to be the determining factor, right? he's gonna make or break the series. If he does, if Cat don't play like again, they have nobody to check him. It's that simple. They don't have big men. They have nobody to check Mitch. Mitch had like 13 or 15 points or whatever because they had nobody to check him. Okay, so like the adjustment, I would say, listen, focus on your big man because they're gonna bring the series home. You know, let the guards do what they do, especially on defense. And in terms of on the defensive end, you know, figure out a way to help Brunson out. You know, double team, do what y'all got to do to help him out on defense, especially when they hunt him, when he end up with CJ McCollum. You know, bring in a second guy. You know, but
Yeah.
we know what Atlanta did. They sat down Dyson Daniel because he's the off guy. He's the guy that they would double team off of. So they got Jonathan Kuminga there, which was very brilliant adjustment actually. But I mean, you're just gonna have to pick your poison at that point. You know, double team him and clog his space and
let somebody else beat you.
Let somebody else beat you. Hopefully, you could get some turnovers. You know, 2-3 turnovers, and that would be a difference. The last game, you know, one turnover would have made a difference. Yeah. You know, so.
Geoff, anything you want to see from Mike Brown?
No more lineups without Towns and Brunson both on the floor. That would be step one. Run offensive for Towns, like give him the opportunity to make plays because they can't stop him. Get Brunson off the ball more, and so he can get easier looks and not pound the rock as bad, especially in the fourth quarter. Man, Josh Hart's been terrific. So, you know, continue to use him, but not in conjunction with those three guards. Like, I think those three guards and Josh Hart is not a good recipe either. So I think those are the things that I want to see. And I want to, I want to make sure that we take care of business on the road. We can win in Atlanta, and I think if we just take advantage of our advantages and not play to our weaknesses, which is what we've been doing both games in the fourth quarter, especially. We're playing to our weaknesses, play to our strengths, let Towns be Towns, and do his thing.
Yeah. I think what I want from Mike Brown, it's not any particular thing. I just need him to have an overwhelming presence in this game and to really be a maestro, really look and what do we need right now? Now, listen, the coach can make all the right calls and the players don't execute. That can happen, but you have to put the team in the best position to win in terms of lineups, in terms of getting Deuce and Shamet in their right position. What does that mean? Maybe you play Alvarado more and maybe Shamet is not in the rotation because you figure out, that we need a playmaker in this particular series. Maybe you tell Clarkson, I need you to go back to Utah and be that backup point guard. And I'm going to keep you in there with Shamet and Deuce, but I need the ball in your hands, not Deuce's hands, not Shamet. Something, if Snyder makes an adjustment, I need Brown to make an adjustment in the game. Like I need him to be like this. I need him to be on it tomorrow. It is tomorrow. That's what I need from Mike Brown. It's not any one adjustment. I just need you to be on it like a hawk. No pun intended. No pun intended. What version of Jalen Brunson do you want to see in game 3, Geoff?
The one who reads the game and sees the floor, like his process. You've been talking about this since the Miami series 3 years ago, right? You told me 3 years ago. I don't remember much because I'm only allowed to keep 5 thoughts in my head, and I take one out, I got to put another one in. But one of those 5 is, you said to me, after we lost the Miami series, you said the what I'm going to watch the next couple of years is the evolution of Brunson. How does his floor game improve? And I've seen him do it, but I haven't seen him do it this playoffs. We really got away with it in game 1. I thought we had 5 terrible possessions in a row, and they went on an 11-0 run in game 1. And they did something similar in game 2. And, why are we so allergic to putting Towns in the pick and roll with Brunson? Is it because he's guarding Daniels and we don't want them to switch? Well, then set a screen on Daniels and get him free so you can do those sorts of things. Dictate the offense. Don't let it come to you. And also play off the ball more so you're fresher and you're better off. I think that's going to be a big thing. I think he plays really well off the ball. And I don't mind lineups with he and Deuce at the same time, or even he and Alvarado in at the same time. I know it's small. I know that drives JJ nuts and it drives AJ nuts, but I think you can pair them with front court combinations that work because the Hawks aren't terribly big anyway. And so, they do have size at the wing, but they're not like, Okongwu is their center most of the time. So, they're not playing a lot of bigs, and, we've got to dominate the glass. And the other thing is he's got to protect the ball. I know we only had 3 turnovers, I think, in game 2, but the more turnovers we have, the more they get out in transition. They're a lot like the Pacers, in my opinion. They're like the Indiana Light, in my opinion. They're like the great value version of Indiana for you folks who go to Walmart. They do a lot of the same things, and they have a good big man like Siakam. They've got CJ McCollum is kind of playing the Tyrese Halliburton role where he's scoring and doing all of these things. So we've got a similar situation, and their style is very much similar, and they're relentless. They're like cockroaches. You can't get rid of them. And so, we need to stay. And I thought our defense in the first half of game 2 was outstanding. Like, I thought the effort was there, and I'm wondering if maybe we weren't able to carry that through for 48 minutes for whatever reason, because it certainly wasn't like that in the fourth quarter. But those are the things I'd like to see from Brunson. And on the defensive end too, like if you get the matchup with McCollum, you've got to be able to at least make it hard on him, right? I'm not saying you can shut him down because that's not who he is, but you can't just let him go off.
Yeah. No doubt about it. AJ,
which version of Brunson?
What version of Brunson do we need, or are you expecting in game 3?
Listen, somebody in the chat, I want to say Greg, but it may not have been Greg. It may have been East Blue Judah, said they want to see 15 assists. I don't care how many assists he has. Okay, I want him to read the game. Like you like to say, Queens, he needs to be a maestro on the floor, right? He needs to read the game and adjust to what the game's doing, right? Game 1, nobody had a problem when he scored 17 points and, 0 assists in the first quarter, right? So if that's what the game requires, that's what he has to do. You want him to read the game and react to what the game needs. If the game needs him to assist more, they're clogging his space. He's getting double teamed. He can't get his shot off. Yeah, pass the ball. Doesn't mean it's going to end up being an assist because, like I always say, the assist is his passing is half the assist. The other half is somebody got to make a shot, right? So you can't count. You can't really say that's a stat you're going to go by because the other guy's got to make shots too.
Right.
Does he pass the ball? Yes, he passed the ball. And then there's another pass, and he's no longer part of the assist. But what I'm saying is he has to be smart. He has to play the game the way the game. He has to read the game.
But don't you think he stagnated and didn't pass the ball in the last 2 fourth quarters, or do you like his process?
No, I did not like his process. He did not read the game, Jeff. That's what I'm saying. He needs to go back to go to that. He did not do that. And even if we won the game, that game, you could still, we would have won the game because the Knicks
In
have
spite
so
of
much
it,
more
not
talent.
because
In
of
spite-
it.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, and we've seen him do that many games, and we still win those games because of the talent level and the effort level of this team. But there are games where he doesn't process the game right. Like he does hold on to the ball a lot, a lot, but he just needs to read the game more with better understanding. Like he's not a low. Brunson's a high IQ player. Why is he not applying to what he knows?
Yeah. I mean, this is just a rehash of what I said to start the stream. I don't look at Brunson's field goal attempts to tell me how he's played. I think he should have more shots than anybody else. That's just how I feel. So when I see that, I'm not alarmed. Oh my God, he has more shots than everybody. Look how many shots. It's not about the shots. When I look at the assist column and he only has 5 assists, I'm not alarmed by the assists. I'm not looking at the box score to tell me how Jalen Brunson played in that game. I'm watching the game. I can see that those field goal attempts was necessary because he was open and they were good shots, and maybe he hit them, maybe he didn't. I'm watching the game to see that he made the correct pass. Guys just missed shots. Like, I'm watching the game. I can see that. I think as Knick fans, we want an equal opportunity offense, and it's just not going to be, period. It's just not going to be an equal opportunity offense. It's going to be a weighted offense. Your best players take the most shots. I don't know what's going on with Karl-Anthony Towns because he should be, in my opinion, right there. So I'm not freaking out over Brunson taking shots. You watch any of these players, the best players on any team, there are times when they're in their burner mode, right? Brunson, to me, is not that he's taking so many shots in the fourth quarter. It's not that. If they're double teaming you or triple teaming you or whatever they're doing, somebody is open. That's all I'm saying. And I get it. There might be times where he's like, I'm not passing to OG, who's 0 for 8 right now. I'm going to take this shot, this teardrop over 2 players because I know I can hit it. Okay. That's a read, in my opinion. You may not like it, but that's a read, So I think he has to get out of these one-on-one battles, stay focused, be aggressive, get downhill, and then read how they're playing you. If it's one-on-one, take it. If they're doubling, like, it's simple. It's just a simple, it's simple basketball. Yeah, that's it. So, like I said, to start the series, I'm going to be watching Brunson. I'm going to be watching Brunson's development.
And I'm with you, Queen. I think you're 100% right. I want Brunson taking the most shots. I want Brunson's efficiency to be much higher, though.
Right.
Like, I don't want to see 10 of 26.
Right.
That's kind of my thing. I think you're 100% right. You have the nuance and the context of it. Absolutely correct. The thing I think that I'm much frustrated with his play is he hit his first 6 of game 1, and he's been in a slump shooting since then. Like, he hasn't really shot the ball well. I don't know if it's because of the defense that they're throwing at him or he just not making it. And I realize your efficiency is going to dip in the playoffs, but I don't think we're going to survive and win too many games where he goes 10 of 26. That's my take on it.
Well, you can't have him out on an island with CJ McCullough for 10 or 15 possessions in a row. Like you can't. He needs help on the defensive end as well. Listen, so this is Jalen Queen. 10 of 26, you okay with that? Absolutely, I'm okay with that. What type of shots were they? Am I okay with that if they were all contested shots with 4 people on him?
Right.
No, I'm not okay with that. But if he's 10 of 26 and they were good shots, his process was good, and those were his shots, and they availed himself, absolutely. I'm not going to look at, what are you looking at? That he was inefficient? Or are you looking at the number of shots? Again, I'm not judging Brunson on his field goal attempts. You know, there are times when guys miss shots, the best of the best. What were the quality of those looks? That's how I'm judging Brunson. And if you miss them, you miss them. It happens. You know? So yeah, I am okay with that if they're good shots.
So I wasn't here for the start of the show. Would you say that the shots that he got, were you happy with his shot diet in game 2?
No, I was not. But that's what I'm saying. I'm watching the game. I'm not box score watching. I'm not.
Understood.
I'm not focusing on, oh, he took 26 shots. OG only got 13. I'm the best player on this team. If it's 26 good looks, I'm taking 30 shots if they're good looks. Right? But
100.
You can't be forcing it and taking bad shots. And 3 people are on you and somebody is wide open and you're going to take the shot. And that's not acceptable. That's the issue that I have. And a girl 1, Brunson hijacked the offense and then had turnovers and got cooked on the other. Well, I'm not worried about the cooked on the other end. To me, that's a Mike Brown thing. And he has to get better at that. But there are times when Brunson does hijack the offense. But this is the thing. There are times when that's okay. If you're not getting anything out of your offense, it's okay. There were times in the second half of the season where I felt like Brunson was being real passive. Like we didn't have anything going and he's still playing, passing it all around as if when we don't have anything going, we need the burner. When we have it going, we don't need the burner. Like that has to be part of his decision-making process as well. Any best player on the team, there'll be times when they have to take over a game. I'm not saying it has to be all the time, but that's a part of the decision-making process too. Stepping up, putting us on your back for 2 or 3 possessions, getting to the foul line. Like that's part of the process as well. Listen, I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing that.
She actually said that she agreed with you. She had just said literally that she didn't like the looks. So
I didn't like the looks. But that's what my point is. Fans aren't looking at the looks. They're talking about the inefficiency and the field goal assists, the field goal attempts, and the assists. Talk to me. You want to talk to me? Talk to me about the process. Talk to me about the looks. We can have that conversation. You want to talk to me about field goal attempts? You want to talk to me about assists? That's not nuanced enough for me. Sorry. All right. Let me see if there's anything else before we get out of here. We kind of talked about Cat ad nauseum, right? In terms of what we need to see from Cat, from Brunson and Cat, from Mike schematically and Cat. I want to talk about the rotation before we get out of here. Do you think Mike Brown needs to shorten the rotation more? Do you think he needs to change the rotation? Or do you think it's just about maximizing the lineups? Wait, I think I have a super chat I didn't read. Let me get to that. And then we'll talk about the rotations. Paris Doug, I appreciate you. Oh no, we did that one. I thought, was there a new one?
It looks like this.
Okay, here it is. Here we go. Paris Duggar, how can you give Cat the ball when he's being pushed out of the post to the 3-point line by Kuminga? Cat should be ashamed of that effort. JB rather shoot than. No doubt about it. You shouldn't be getting pushed out of, Walter White. I forgot him. Okay, I'll get to that, Walter White, right now. Yeah, I agree. Cat should not be getting pushed out of the post. Yeah.
I'm sure David Smith's going to have a comment about that comment.
Is he here tonight? I hadn't
He
seen him.
is. He
Yeah,
is.
what?
He is.
My guy, salute, David.
Oh, that.
Walter White, I appreciate you. I appreciate the super chat, and my apologies because I did see this, and it still slipped my mind.
The
Give
condition is still here, Walter.
Yes,
you know
exactly. Even in the playoffs. Give Snyder credit. He subbed Daniels for Kuminga, so we wouldn't help defensively off of anyone. Absolutely. That definitely was a
genius
key
move.
move
Yeah.
because Daniels is playing for us. Like Dyson
He pretty
Daniels
much is.
he's playing for the Knicks right now. And this is, I'll get to the rest of your comment, Walter White. This is one of the reasons why Boston finally traded Marcus Smart. As good as he was defensively, when they got into the playoffs, he became an offensive liability because they can use his guy to slough off of him and make it difficult for Tatum. And Dyson Daniels, you don't even have to play him. Really.
Yeah, he's got awful on offense, man. Jeez.
I mean, and I think he's lost some confidence either. Also, because he didn't look this bad in the regular season. If
he's not under the basket for a put back, man, it ain't going in.
Yeah, and bricks, like one time he shot it, hit the backboard. And I said, "Wow!" Like,
he's Ben Simmons out there, man.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, Jay.
Right.
He has Ben Simmons disease for sure.
All right, Walter White. Give Snyder credit. He subbed Daniels for Kuminga, so we couldn't help defend off of anyone. That is correct. Brown didn't adjust. That is correct. I made my own video titled Fire Mike Brown. I'm now a content creator. Well, Walter White, welcome to the content creator family. Anytime you want to hop on the panel, you are definitely welcome to do that.
Amen.
And if you could put the link to your video in the chat, I'll be sure to watch it. I love it. I love it. Listen, this is where I started. I was in the chat of MBK, right? And then got on Nothing But Nick. Shout out to Sim, Queen's Court, and then decided to start my own channel. So yeah, definitely. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, hold on, Queen. Who? No, sorry, wrong one. Greg said Atlanta's getting one of their best players back tomorrow. Good luck watching. Who's that? Who they getting tomorrow? Do you know?
Is it the center that he's
Jock
talking
Lawndale is one of their best players?
Man,
who else would it be? He's the only injury that they really have.
What is Greg talking about, man?
If we lose the series because of Jock Lawndale, that's on us. That's all I'm saying.
But I think no. I mean, listen. I'm more worried about Nickeil Alexander-Walker having a breakout.
Bridges has done a good job on him.
That's what I'm saying. I just hope he doesn't have a breakout game tomorrow. Or one of the other guys off the bench. One of the guys off the bench, like a Kispert or Risa Shea or one of those guys. Because those guys, they played better this season. Like, they haven't even contributed in this series so far.
Yeah, but we got donuts from Deuce and Shamet, so we haven't gotten bench production yet either. So
yeah, and
I kind of feel like, their bench is rates to play better, but it's hard to imagine our bench playing much worse. I hate to say that because there can always be worse, but
okay.
But they've been pretty bad.
They've been pretty bad, other than Mitch.
Yeah.
And Clarkson. I think Clarkson is.
Yeah, Clarkson's been good. Deuce and Wiz, Deuce and Shamet have been bad. Let's just leave it. Let's be clear. I don't Alvarado, who hasn't played that much. He wasn't bad. If you want to throw Kolek in there instead of Alvarado, I don't think you want to try him out for a few minutes. Okay. I don't have a problem with that either, but
I don't think Wiz is Wiz here.
No, I didn't see him.
Because when Deuce have them games, Wiz don't come out.
He's in mourning for his grandson.
He don't be on the chance when Deuce having them games.
A-Train said, "Is it Trae Young coming back?" Okay.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
shout out to the gun. They were still chanting F Trey Young.
yeah. Quick, just a quick go around. Who wins game 3?
I have no doubt the Knicks will win tomorrow. I have no doubt.
Atlanta.
You think Atlanta wins game 3? I think the Knicks win game 3. Panic level if the Knicks lose, level 1 to 10. With 10 being panic.
With 10 being red alert.
Right. Panic level if the Knicks lose game 3.
I would say probably 7. Because it's
4. I'm not gonna panic in game 3. I think if we lose game 3, we'll lose the series, but I don't think it's like you've got to win one game in Atlanta. It doesn't matter if it's game 3 or game 4. You know, I have an axiom about the playoffs: just win the odd number games, because if you always win the odd number games, you never lose a series. So I definitely would like to get that, but if we lose game 3 and then come back and win game 4,
level.
So I don't. If you lose game 3 and game 4, then it goes to 10, right? But if you lose just game 3, I don't think. I personally, even with my PTSD, I don't think it would be time to panic. Ho! Look at that.
What's up?
I gotta get off.
Delusional.
About to die, so I'm gonna hand the torch over to my guy Delusional.
Okay.
Shout out to you, bro, and go Knicks. Let's get a W tomorrow.
Nah, you take over, Geoff. I'm late, so I'm gonna ride the bench. I ride the bench.
No, he has to go anyway.
What's up?
What's up, Delusional? We were doing quick hitters about game 3. Panic level. Well, first of all, it's game 3 a must win for the Knicks.
I don't think it's a must win. I believe we've been in a situation before where we kind of fight and claw ourselves to victory. But for me, I don't think it's a must win. I don't think it's a must win. I think we can win in Atlanta. We've shown that before. We won in Boston. We've seen that in the playoffs. We won in Philadelphia. We saw that in the playoffs. So I think we can kind of win on any aspect. We just need to clean up the little stuffs internally. Just like listen to the show, we killed ourselves, to be honest with you. So I don't think Indiana really did anything differently besides just attack Brunson, which they did in the first game. It's just though Brunson played defense a little better, and CJ was actually missing those shots. He missing those. Now he started to make those. So it's just that situation. It was a weird game, to be honest with you. It definitely was a weird game.
Panic level if we lose game 3.
Panic level would be out of 50. I'd be out of 50. It'll go either way. But me as a fan, I think obviously, Captain even killed, he ice in his veins. I think he'll be ready to go in that next game, and then of course at the Garden, if Atlanta wins, 2-1, your back is against the wall, but it's not like we haven't been in that position. Don't forget last year, almost every team we faced, they thought that they were going to win, and we somehow prevailed. So different coach though, different system, but I think we will still ultimately have the same results.
Okay. Have you lost confidence in Mike Brown, Ajay?
No.
Ajay, and then you.
Okay.
No, I haven't lost confidence, but I've listen. We have him, so he's gonna write it out, right? And there's been a couple of disappointing moves that he make, and like when Jerrell was here, shout out to Jerrell. And this is one thing I always say, Queen: the coach should never be a reason why a team lose the game. That should even be in a conversation. Game 2, there could be a conversation that Mike Brown was the reason we lost the game. Or he's one of the reasons we lost the game.
One, yeah.
One of them. I mean, there were blunders after blunder. Even forget about the lineup he put out there that everybody's complaining about. Queen, in the beginning of the game, he put some funky lineups out there that he was riding out for like 4 or 5 minutes. I'm like, coach, like, are you not seeing that they getting like, whatever lead we have with and then, after the lead strengthened, he brings back the starting lineup, to build up another lead. Then he bring another lineup to bring it back down. So it was blunder after blunder. That thing I sent you earlier, Queen, I think we touched up on that about earlier. The fact that he didn't have a timeout left because he called the timeout right under the 3 minutes mark, right? So he lost a timeout because he lost that use it and lose it, and he didn't have an explanation when the reporter asked him for it. He was like, it was like a sucker punch. Like he didn't know what that was. He didn't know what the guy was talking about. So you got to control the game, man. You have a staff of 100 assistant coaches. Somebody's got to be responsible for keeping tab on the timeouts and, take that use it or lose it before that 3 minute mark. That way you don't have to take a timeout. And then you interrupted the Florida offense because Brunson was going in for a layup or something. And then he stopped the action just to call a timeout after we lost, I don't know, maybe 12 minutes off the shot clock. On top of that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of blunders, a lot of Mike Brown blunders in game 2.
Have you lost confidence, Delusional?
I haven't lost confidence. Certain situations you get put in, it definitely was a moment where he definitely dropped the ball. I'm not going to lie about that, but ultimately he's a human. You have, I remember when Chris Webber thought he had a timeout in the national championship game, but they didn't, which kind of cost them that Michigan. You see other guys with J.R. Smith, not shooting the ball up after that time again when he was with the Cavs. So some of the greatest go through these situations in high pressure moments. I can't put all the blame on coach because, even when he went up with that lineup, there was still 7 minutes left when he brought in the starters. Shots just was not dropping. Correct. So the bench actually did their thing. They maintained a steady lead, even though they didn't push it forward. They still wasn't a negative during that time period. And the starters came back in, and it was up to the starters. We had some great shots. Mikal had 2 wide open 3-pointers that if one would have dropped, would have changed the scenario. It's just how the ball rolls in that situation. But I haven't lost faith in him. I believe he'll come back because don't forget, he initially game 1, that game 1 game plan was phenomenal to put OG on a Congo to prevent the switches with the big on the pick and pop, and Josh on Johnson. I would have never thought about that.
Me either. I was concerned. I was like, Josh is playing. Oh my goodness! But he did a good job.
Josh been phenomenal against Johnson. There's but so much you can do. I still think he's going to be an All NBA player, Johnson. So he's containing him to his below.
There was
stats.
no confusion. You didn't have to say Johnson. We knew who you were.
Sorry, right. right. So even with that, I thought was good, was a great game plan. Now that could have came from one of the other benches, one of the other coaches, but still, ultimately, I'm not gonna waver off of just 2 games so far. Even though this is definitely a make or break series. I heard everyone talking about will we fire him after? Can't lose to Atlanta at all. Can't go home in the first round. Can't. I wasn't thinking about it, but the Knick brass, how they talking, we brought you here for championships, Eastern Conference and championship.
Mm-hmm.
We're not even thinking about a first round exit. So that'd be tough, especially where other coaches potentially being out there with a Steve Kerr and Chicago just Lord. Now's not the time, Mike Brown, to be screwing up. I'm just be honest.
Yeah. But I'll say this though. I'll ask this. Don't you think there's a difference between Mike Brown having a great game plan in game 1 and not making the in-game adjustments in terms of helping Brunson or McCullough, for example? Like, I think that's what we're looking for because Tibbs was good with game plan and making adjustments from game to game. But the concern with Tibbs was always that in-game adjustment. And kind of yesterday, we kind of saw that with Mike Brown in game 2.
So, and it goes back to this. Game 1, you had Brunson on CJ for the most of the game. And yes, they were catching fire, both of them. But at the end, we still saw Brunson get it going. Actually, no, fourth was kind of bad. But, CJ wasn't getting it going because Brunson had great defensive possessions. You're going to keep Brunson in that game, and you're going to believe that he can still get a certain stop. Just didn't happen. Honestly, I would have rolled with that as well, Queen, because what else could you do, right? You got Josh literally blood, sweat, and tears guarding Johnson. You got OG not a scorer as much because he's putting that pressure on help weak side defense. We're hiding Cat and we're hiding JB. Mikal is doing great on Alexander Walker. So you want to take him and put him on Walker, he's going to gun JB down with that height difference. So I thought it was
that. I think that's fine in terms of the initial matchups. The thing is, they were hunting Brunson, even when Brunson wasn't on McCullough. They just searched. They just spammed those. They searched for him. They hunted him.
True.
And
so then
I'm saying I would have liked Mike Brown to
trap.
Help.
The trap, similar to what they did with Brunson, because they got the ball.
To help. That's all I'm saying. That's what I mean. I'm not the initial matchup. Just
in that fourth. Yeah, that fourth he was on. He definitely needed help. I'm not gonna lie. Right. So and I thought about that too after, because I kind of took a break after that. I don't think I wanted to talk to anybody, so I kind of watched the game yesterday and saw that fourth quarter, and I'm like, yo, they trapped Brunson constantly. And it made everybody else try to score. OG couldn't score, this and that. But down the end, they just let him go ISO on JB. And I'm like, yeah, we could have at least trapped and done something better. But you have the fear of Alexander Walker knocking down a 3. You had a Congo who could do that, or Johnson that'll penetrate. So it's like, pick your poison. But yeah, I would have trapped. Yeah,
I mean, you're right. But then you have what you know is happening and what theoretically can.
Correct. Let's plug that. Let's plug that water fountain right there.
And let's see. Let's see. But you're absolutely right. Those guys can beat you.
Now that you speak about it, no, he did wet the bed. I'm not gonna. Coach did wet the bed. I'm gonna be honest with you on that. But I would think our entire coach, because somebody should have been in his ear too. We have Rick always getting up. So, but yeah,
right. Exactly. And we got 5th row Mo. So. Like
he gotta go. He
got promoted. He's 3rd row Mo now. They moved him to the 3rd row.
One player who must step up tomorrow. Do some quick hitters.
That's a tough one, because I want to say Cat. I truly want to say Cat. He got it going in that 3rd quarter. Cat was on fire. Cat was literally pulling up 3. He was feeling it emotionally. He was feeling it. Then, of course, that 4th quarter came. Brunson came in, everybody else getting the shots. But once Cat wasn't getting that, he was just out of the game. So I need Cat to be 48 with aggression. 48.
Yeah. Ajay?
So Cat, I'm not even gonna say Cat's supposed to be Cat's got to step up. Cat has to be part of the equation. Otherwise, we're going home. Who has to step up? One of either Shamet or Deuce McBride. They can't come in here with donuts, like and then like you got to contribute something. I mean, Shamet took a hard fall, man. Shamet took a real hard fall, Queen. I don't know, man. Is he gonna play tomorrow?
Well, maybe that shook him up, and maybe, sometimes you got to get shaken up, maybe now his shot is start falling.
But that was like an OG fall, like slam, like a real body slam. But I hope he's okay. But one of them got to step up. Cat, it's automatic. He has to be part of the equation. The office got to go through him. They can't check him.
Yeah.
Either way, like if he play on the low post, they can't do anything with him. He pick and pop, they can't do anything with it. Pick and roll, they can't do anything. He drives, they can't, like either way, they can't do anything with him.
Yeah, but what happened with the 2-man game that we saw in Atlanta? That's the issue. I'm like, we saw that. We like, oh,
We good money, right? Going into the playoffs.
Maybe we'll see it in Atlanta.
Yeah. But Brunson has to call for it. Like when you see him out there, like he's calling for picks from people, like you need to call for Cat, as well to come and set the screen. All right. Is this going 5, 6, or 7?
Ajay?
Oh, you mean at 6? Like I said, I think we're gonna split the 2 in Atlanta, and then we win 2. The games 5 and 6, and wrap it up.
So 6, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going 6. It's going 6. It's going 6. This is the wake up shot that they needed to get back to the game plan.
Knicks in 5. I think that loss. The Knicks are sitting there saying, "We beat ourselves. We beat ourselves." Like if the Knicks win by 5, I'm disappointed in Game 3. Like I expect the Knicks to be laser focused. You go into Atlanta, which is your home away from home, as far as the home, like it's not going to be a hostile arena. Yeah. You know what I mean? I expect the Knicks to take both in Atlanta. Yeah, we shall see. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I didn't even. I asked this, and then I got thrown off by reading Walter White's comment. Last question: do the Knicks need to shorten or change the rotation for game 3?
Yeah, go ahead, Ajay.
No, I was gonna say change. Like I don't want any funky. I don't want any experimental rotation out there, man. But I mean, who they had? Like it's already a short rotation, right? Because they had. I mean, what are they playing? 8.5. Because they have Mitch. No, so okay, yeah, pretty much. No, they playing 9.5 because they have Mitch, Jordan Clarkson, Deuce, Shamet, and then the half would be Alvarado. I mean, he could probably tighten it to 8 or 9.
Well, it's already at it's already
it's
at
9.5. It's a 9.5, but I would probably do 8.5. I would probably do like Deuce, Shamet, whoever's got it, Jordan Clarkson, and then that half would be either whoever don't have it between Shamet and Deuce, and maybe Alvarado if necessary.
I like how it's currently constructed. All I would say is extend Mitch's minutes. Mitch has been actually really great in his 18-minute slot. If we could get Mitch, a little bit more down that fourth quarter stretch when he's involved more defensively, I think that'll help out much. And the Alvarado minutes, I'm not big on the Alvarado minutes. I would throw Kolick out there more than anything. Damn. How did I forget this name? Jordan Clarkson. I would have him in that fourth as another person who can offensive rebound and get to the paint as well, because where was the creativity, right? You need down that stretch someone that can go off the dribble. So I would just extend their minutes just a little bit, but keep the rotation as is.
Yeah. I think he went to Alvarado because Deuce and Shamet was just that bad. But part of them being bad is putting them in positions that they're not. Like that's the other thing. Stop having Deuce with the ball in his hand. That's just not who he is. Shamet play point guard. Like stop. Like just stop. Stop. You either gonna play Alvarado, who is he's Dyson Daniels light, right? He's an offensive liability, and Snyder's definitely going to take advantage of that if you give him extended minutes. Or you're going to have to say, listen, I'm going to stick with this 3-guard lineup, but I'm going to have Clarkson on the ball initiating action, and I'm going to have Deuce and Shamit in positions where they're at their best, which is off the ball, and I'm going to have Cat in there with that unit, because I'm going to have Cat and Brunson in the game, one of them in the game at all times, right? And so if you have Clarkson and Cat, and you playing Shamit and Deuce and whoever you want to put at that fourth position, I just think you have a better chance at generating offense. You know, but up to this point, Mitch and Clarkson has been our best players off the bench. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Anna Grill won. Clarkson has been really good for us. Yep. The X Productions go to Macau for the middies when you need a basket. Yep. Rafer Alvarado is good. I think he is a spark. I think you get positive minutes. I think we got positive minutes out of him last night. I love the way that he's able to see the floor and generate good looks. You can't play him too much, because if he's an offensive liability, you could just slough off of him and, you know, make things harder. Wiz, Mitch 24 minutes, Deuce 24 minutes, Shamit or Clarkson 18 minutes, GTA Kolick 12 minutes. Huh? That's a lot of minutes right there.
Yeah, it's a lot of bench minutes.
That's a lot of bench minutes, and Deuce is not playing well enough to get 24 minutes. You know, like,
well, that's just one game though, Queen.
Two games. He didn't play.
I mean, he knocked down a nice little 3 in game 1.
He did redeem himself in the fourth quarter. He hit 2 big 3-pointers in the fourth quarter. But before that, I was like, what the hell is going on with Deuce? He playing for the other team. But then in the fourth quarter, in true Deuce fashion, he knocked down 2 timely threes for us. And like I said on the recap show, whenever Deuce has a bad game, he always comes back with a good game. I expect Deuce to be on point tomorrow, but not 24 minutes worth of on point. When in the playoffs, you usually give your starters more minutes. Deuce needs 20 plus minutes to be effective. Okay. David G, Deuce's loss. Okay. Shout out to Latoria.
B.
Oh boy. Greg, it's crazy how Mo has been banished. Listen,
yeah, we know
minutes are hard to come by in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Alvarado got off the bench. All right. Any last words?
Definitely got some last word to the Knicks fans. Heading down to Atlanta, I need MSG South to turn out. Like, this is a game to where I don't think I've ever wanted the crowd to chant "Let's go Knicks" and mix it up. I've been to the playoff game in Philly and saw what we did out there, so we definitely need. So whoever here that's heading down to the game, please, turn up, buy some tickets. Let's all fly down there. But let's turn up. Let's get this victory.
Yeah, for sure. Any last words, Ajay?
That's it. Bottom line, man. Let's go out there and get it. The Knicks, you're a better team than the Atlanta Hawks. It ain't gonna be easy, because I'm telling you, the guys who we've been able to contain so far, they're gonna have good games. So you just got to be on top of your game in order to win. It's not gonna be, game 2 was very easy game. Like, we gave it away. It wasn't, Atlanta didn't have a good game. Somehow they came up with the dub. So, we're just gonna have to fight, and we just have to come up with the win.
Yeah.
Game 3.
Yeah. Listen, these games are won and lost on the margins. I need the Knicks to be at their best, hitting free throws, not turning the ball over, executing the game plan. I need Brunson to be in maestro mode. To me, it's not about the assists and the field goal attempts. It's about the quality of the looks and his decision making. That's what I'm looking for from Brunson, and a little 2-man game, with Cat. You guys know I've been having X problems. It seems to be okay for now. So if you haven't already, you have to re-follow me at DopeSoulSports. This is a brand new account. I think I got like 5. I think I got like 5 followers. I think you followed me, Delusional. So
Okay.
yeah, definitely follow me on X at DopeSoulSports. And we out of here Thursday. I'll check with Geoff. I'll be in a hotel Friday, but I'm bringing my stuff with me. So if Geoff is available Friday morning before I board my cruise ship, I will do a post game, a recap show Friday. Sunday I won't be able to do it. Like the internet on the ship is hit or miss. Yeah. Anyway,
I'll definitely enjoy.
I will. Definitely will. And hopefully I'm here in Georgia, so hopefully when is game 6? Like hopefully it doesn't. Well, no, I said the Knicks in 5, so I'm not even planning to attend a game 6 in Atlanta. Knicks in 5.
All right.
Until next time, fam. Appreciate you. Peace.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope soul.
Where you at?